This is the solar farm at Upington. Taking advantage of the geographical location and climate of this place. We are 200 kilometers from the Namibian border. This is one of the hottest places in South Africa. Temperatures averaging 30 to, they say, 52 degrees on the runway, 42 degrees on the runway. So we take full advantage of that. The airport is operated and powered by solar. We even have the ability of selling out of the grid to others. We had, before COVID, another company that was operating here, but more are coming back. This is generally an area that is strong in South Africa for green energy. And this particular example here is an achievement for us. We have rolled out the solar plants of this nature to the rest of our regional airports. So this is the first one and led by example, but we have rolled them out. George is the next one that's going to get full solar. Kimberley is the same. And those smaller airports can really be totally sustained by solar energy and can carry the load. We have arrangements, and they may increase with municipalities also, for excess to be sold back to municipalities when we produce more than we need. Let me hand over to Clayton so he can give us the details.
Good afternoon all. As our CEO mentioned, this is one of the first solar plants within the AXA group. At this point we generate enough solar power to power both our terminal building, and one of the projects that's in the pipeline for this airport is also to install battery storage. So this will enable whatever we generate and don't use get stored in the batteries, and at night time when there's no sun, then we power the terminal building from the batteries. So our aim as this airport is to be totally independent of the utility. This will not only save costs, but will also, in terms of electricity, but we will also not need diesel generators at night time when we have load shedding.
One of the other significant things about this airport is we have one of our longest runways. For the airport, which has historically been used for many other purposes, including stopovers for international flights. So there are innovative ways of utilizing this utilizing this runway as one of the longest in the country. The colleagues, I'm not sure if the contract is still on, were testing. It was being utilized to test German cars under extreme heat, who would come here, test when the cars are still covered and they've not released them, they would test them under extreme heat conditions and enable certification of those vehicles. So with a long runway of this nature, with an airport that is not very busy, we've had to think out of the box and see how we utilize the runway for other purposes so that we get full revenue generation from it. The next other activity in this airport is they utilize it for the purposes of aircraft storage, but also aircraft breakdown and training of people around that. We are currently in discussions with the Economic Development Agency of the province to look at an aeronautical park for part manufacturing, repair of aircrafts, and basically activities that will take us to supporting old aircraft but training people around aircraft manufacturing. The airport itself covers a vast piece of land, and so we have potential to develop those kind of aeronautical industries around it. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to add?
Also, what we mentioned, or what is in our master plan, the solar plant that you see behind me is also to expand. And part of that expansion would then be if we can enter into an agreement with a local municipality to sell off excess energy, excess power.
L'objectif d'extendre, c'est pour puissions arriver à faire un accord avec la municipalité pour maintenant revendre l'énergie que nous avons.
This has not been done in the Northern Cape yet. I know Cape Town is busy with it.
On n'a pas encore fait ça dans cette province, mais Cape Town est en train de faire ça déjà.
But our legislation now allows us to sell back to municipalities as well as private companies.
Donne maintenant la permission afin que nous puissions maintenant vendre notre énergie à la municipalité.
So taking advantage both of the space that we have at Upington as well as the climate.
Nous avons le climat que nous avons ici.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Do we have any questions,
How long
comments?
is the runway?
4.9 kilometers.
4.9 kilomètres.
So it's the longest in Africa, or on the African
C'est la
continent.
plus longue piste ici en Afrique.
Uh,
Continent
Nous, on a
africain.
combien? 3000
Ouais, ouais.
the longest.
C'est 3000.
4900. So is it longer than the Johannesburg?
Yes,
Yes.
Oui, oui.
it's number 4 in the world.
Quatrième dans le monde.
Hmm?
Quatrième dans le monde. Ouais, ouais.
Bon, moi j'ai juste une préoccupation. En fait, le montage là, c'est pour monter la ferme ici, voltaïque ici, tout ça solaire. C'est qui le fait? C'est l'aéroport, c'est l'État, c'est le gouvernement.
The only question that SS is asking, the solar farm that you have there, who is responsible of it? Is it the government or is it the airport company?
It is the airport company, so
Je voulais savoir le montage de ça.
Justement, comment, qui a fait? Est-ce que c'est l'aéroport qui a donné l'argent? C'est un particulier? Est-ce qu'il y a un
So is it the
gouvernement?
private
Est-ce
sector?
que-
Is it the government?
it is airport's company.
C'est l'aéroport.
C'est l'aéroport qui a fait ça?
Oui, oui.
Ok. Très bien.
Just to maybe indicate, Minister, when we have a primary responsibility at the airport, we have to provide the infrastructure for full airport operations ourselves. So the fuel farms here are our responsibility. It's legislated that we must make sure that we have properly functioning fuel farms. The energy that comes to this, if it's not off the grid, is our responsibility as airports company. So we then have the primary responsibility of choosing the method to power the airport, and in this case, if it's solar, we are responsible for providing it. Our aim is to ensure that all the airports are off-grid, and we have a plan that takes us up to 2030 that looks at how we can shift all the airports so that we are totally self-sufficient and do not depend on the grid. So we're looking at a number of alternative energy sources, solar in the provinces where there's enough heat, but in other provinces we're looking at gas to power. We're looking at many other alternatives to provide. At OR Tambo and King Shaka, there is a new project, Minister, we would have indicated. We are working with the Department of Science and Innovation around a future of hydrogen-powered airport activities. So that also gives you an indication of how we're diversifying our energy sources so that we're not dependent on the main grid. Thank you.
On utilise l'aéroport comme un laboratoire de recherche. Il a compris qu'il a des contrats d'engagement signé avec moi.
So now we understand that we've got many contractors to sign with him now.
Non, mais il faut être proactif, il faut vite prendre. Moi, je disais à la
He said
ministre,
you must be proactive so that you can come and grab the opportunity.
moi, je suis un enfant de militaire. Hein.
So he's
Yeah, sure.
he was telling the Excellency that he's the son of a soldier.
La réaction est toujours rapide.
So the reaction is very quick.
Toujours rapide. Mais c'est un bel exemple.
It's a very good
Dans le
example.
but démocratique du Congo, chez nous, vous le savez d'ailleurs, on a le soleil partout.
As you know, Congo has got sun everywhere.
On a le soleil pendant 12 mois.
We've got sun during the 12 months.
Et curieusement, c'est la région la plus chaude qui a les aéroports noirs.
And surprisingly, that it's the only region in Congo where these airports are in the dark.
Mais je n'ai pas consulté le gouverneur, mais je pense que ce serait intéressant.
I haven't
Parce qu'il a
consulted
aussi-
the governor yet,
Il
but
a
I'm
aussi
sure
un
we'll be
grand soleil
interested.
chez lui. Je ne l'ai pas consulté.
He hasn't consulted him yet,
Mais il a un grand soleil chez lui.
but he's got enough sun in his
Comme il
region.
est à côté de l'Afrique du Sud.
As he's just close to South Africa,
Il peut venir même à pied.
he can even walk to come here.
Donc,
Uh,
non, mais je pense que ce sont de bonnes opportunités qu'il faut exploiter.
So these are really good opportunities that will allow
Mais
them
Madame
to
la ministre,
exploit.
je crois que c'est...
Excellency Minister,
On va discuter.
that
Comme
we
les
must
services sont là.
discuss.
Je suis content de tous les accords qu'on a signés là-bas.
I'm very happy with all the agreement that we've signed.
Mais la contradiction chez moi, c'est que j'ai le soleil partout.
The only contradiction is that in Congo we've got sun everywhere.
J'ai l'eau partout.
It's got water everywhere.
Mais j'ai le noir partout aussi.
And we've got also the darkness everywhere.
Or, avec les opportunités comme ça,
With this kind of opportunities,
ça rentre dans le cadre des échanges d'expérience.
it will just be in the exchange of
Je voulais
experiences.
vraiment rester dans mon secteur.
I would like to remain in my sector.
Si j'ai posé la question autour du montage, c'est-à-dire il y a plusieurs choses qui tournent dans
When
ma
I
tête.
ask questions regarding who is responsible of this, there are many things that are running in my head.
C'est la question d'approfondir.
It's just a matter of us going more deeper.
Yeah.
Mais c'est une très très belle expérience.
It's a very good experience.
Mais peut-être la question de savoir pour monter ce parc ici, ça peut c'est combien de
Peut-être
temps de
combien, oui.
montage.
Just a question.
Même la capacité, c'est
D'abord le temps.
What is the capacity of this?
Le temps
How
de-
long it take you to
que le
make
coût.
it? And
Je vois que c'est
lastly,
le gouverneur qui
how
a posé la
much?
question, le coût.
It's the governor that asks how much it is.
Non, mais je suis en train de construire aussi un parc similaire,
Ok,
mais à Mitwaba.
ok, Amito.
Mitwaba pour alimenter la population.
So the government, the governor is also building a similar type of farm in a region in Katanga to power the village.
So this
Monter
How long does it
la
take to
capacité
build?
et
What
peut-être
the
si c'est pas
capacity?
un secret.
And if it's possible, if it's not a secret, how much?
Pour voir une idée. Avoir
okay, the plant behind me is 500 kilowatt.
C'est 500 kilowatts.
I was not involved when it was built, but a size like this can possibly take 6 months,
À l'époque, on avait construit ça, mais on n'avait pas d'idée, mais
if not shorter.
c'est à peu près 6 ou bien moins que 6 mois.
And back in 2016, the cost was about 16 million.
2016, le coût était à peu près 600 millions de rentes.
Yes, the rand.
600 millions de rentes.
Équivalent de
C'est quand divisé par 20, par 18.
c'est plus ou moins 500 000.
600 millions. Quand vous faites les calculs là, ceux qui sont forts en
600
mathématiques,
divided by 18.
il n'y a pas quelqu'un d'ingénieur ici. Bon, on a une idée. Hein.
Okay, so we have an idea.
Donc j'ai compris, donc c'est pour servir et l'aéroport et la population.
So what you can understand is to assist the airport and the municipality.
Et
Yes.
donc on peut déduire aussi si on est dans un cas d'urgence, on ne peut servir que l'aéroport, c'est
So
possible.
if you are in an emergency case, you can only provide to the airport.
C'est possible.
Is it possible?
Yes, that is possible.
Mais l'idéal, c'est de donner le port.
Quelle surface offerte?
Ici
Oui.
Bon, ça dépend de
So what is the size? Because in terms of
l'espace.
This is about 200 by 200 meters.
200 par 200.
200 par 200, excellent. 500 kWh, 200 sur 200. Donc,
200 sur 200, c'est 200 c'est le parcelle déjà chez moi. Dans mon quartier là, ça c'est la parcelle de quelqu'un.
So back home, this is just the size of somebody's yard.
But can I also just add, but the size of the panels that you can purchase nowadays is twice the output of these, so you can half the size.
Avec la nouvelle technologie, les panneaux solaires ici actuellement, vous achetez So you can easily make a 1,000 kilowatts.
We actually have a 1,000 watt plant at our other airport,
1000 watts total.
Chief David Stierman in Port Elizabeth.
Port Elizabeth. So we'll have some serious discussion regarding this.
I can see that the minister is interested in this. So I will check if I can find my own farm so that he buys it from me.
Non, mais il y a plusieurs choses. Parce qu'il y a, comme je disais tout à l'heure, je répondais à la question d'un journaliste là.
As you was responding to the journalist question,
Dans notre pays, il y a la loi sur le partenariat.
in Congo we've got the law of triple P.
Et donc, ça tourne, ça. Donc, surtout que je suis parmi les gens qui ont proposé.
So he's really thinking about it because as long as knowing that he's among the people that have proposed that law, so he knows exactly what can be done and he can see what we can be able to do.
Tu auras l'invitation pour Kinshasa.
You will be coming, you got an invitation to come to Kinshasa.
Non, mais c'est sérieux.
No, it's very serious. This can assist us to alleviate.
C'est un investissement important.
Yeah.
Mais
It's
ça
a great
demande,
investment.
Quoi? Non, je parlais de Inga. Inga qui est un très grand projet.
Knowing that we've got a big project with Inga,
Ça demande beaucoup de moyens.
and the Inga is
En attendant
multi.
pour donner le courant à tous les Congos.
While we are waiting for the Inga to move, we can use these
Donc, il faut construire des barrages, tout ça.
because we have to come and build the dams. You have to go do this for Inga, but this is quite quicker than it can assist.
Yeah.
De sable, on n'a pas de route, tout ça. C'est compliqué. Quand les camions partent, ça abîme encore la route. Tout ça.
And because for material to reach where Inga Dam is, you've got the road that is not in the good conditions, you've got material that need to be transported. And in 6 months, if you say you can build this in 6 months, it's much quicker to do that.
Rapide.
Yeah.
Pourquoi pas, parce qu'on a le projet. J'ai présenté un dossier au conseil, il faut passer à la certification de l'aéroport de Rouen. Vous vous souvenez, j'ai 4 aéroports qu'il faut. C'est moi le chercheur des problèmes.
Because it's got 4 airports that you need to
Donc nous avons
use.
Luano,
You've got
nous avons
Lubumbashi, Luano,
Mboka, Goma et l'autre. Et Kinshasa.
Goma and Kinshasa.
Je crois
Among
qu'on
those
a
4
commencé
airports.
avec Lubumbashi. Il y a un soumissionnaire. Oui, je connais. C'est moi qui ai présenté. Seulement, je n'avais pas cité les noms de la société. On allait croire comment corrompu. C'est comme ça que je n'avais pas cité les noms.
Okay.
Mais on va visiter ça d'ailleurs avec le gouverneur, on va organiser. Mais ça, c'est une expérience qu'on peut.
So we'll have to visit again with the governor. It's a good experience, so that we see where we can
Mais
do.
l'unique façon d'y aller, moi, je vois les PPP. Hein.
So the only way to go with this one, I think it's a triple P that will be quite easier.
C'est pragmatique, je vois pas.
And that is the pragmatic solution. Yeah.
On va voir, nous avons les opérateurs qui vont venir là, les redevances et tout ça. On va voir. N'est-ce pas?
We will see.
Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very
Now
much.
I'd like
Thank
you to head back to have something to eat.
Il faut prier pour moi pour que je termine tous mes projets qui sont dans la tête.
You must pray for him so that he can be able to achieve all the projects
Il
that
faut
he
dire au
has.
président de me laisser ministre jusqu'à
You must tell the
2035.
president to leave him up until since you are twins.
Not too much.